Buenas tardes, profesora Mixeli. Bienvenida, bendiciones. Espero se encuentre muy bien.
Hola, buenas noches.
¿Qué tal, profesora? Bueno, son las 6 de la tarde. Por el momento no tenemos estudiantes. Usted me indica si desea iniciar de una vez.
Si quiere leer los parámetros y esperamos unos minutitos después de eso a ver si se conecta alguien y si no arranco.
Ok, profesora. Listo. La dejo entonces en compañía de la licenciada Liliana.
Ok.
Adelante, Liliana, con los parámetros.
Buenas tardes, profesora. Deme un segundito para compartir pantalla, gracias. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Liliana Dawitzia. Hoy los estaré acompañando como moderadora de esta sesión. Voy a dar algunos parámetros para que así la profesora pueda empezar con la clase de la noche de hoy. Las sesiones se graban, pueden verlas nuevamente en plataforma virtual. Les solicitamos que por favor silencien su micrófono y puedan activarlos cuando quieran hacer consultas o aportes con el permiso del docente. Le pedimos que mantengan su cámara activa. De no poder hacerlo, enviar su excusa por el chat de Zoom. De lo contrario, será retirado de la sesión y le serán restados puntos en la heterovaloración del docente. Mi rol como moderador es facilitar y apoyar en la parte técnica, consultas por el chat personal o general. Les exhorto a tener bolígrafo y papel para hacer sus anotaciones y aprovechar al máximo esta sesión. Esta sesión tiene un tiempo de duración de 120 más minutos. Sin más nada, profesora, puede empezar con la clase de la noche de hoy. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Liliana. Voy a esperar unos 5 minutitos a ver y si no, arrancamos entonces.
Ok, profesora, correcto. Gracias.
Gracias.
Bueno, profesor, así desea. Puede empezar porque igual las sesiones son grabadas y los estudiantes las pueden ver, profesor.
Sí, ya pasaron los 5 minutos, así que vamos a iniciar. Okay, good evening, dear students. This is our session number 5. Today we are going to introduce our model number 3. And let me show you here. I know that we have been passing through difficult moments in our country. Maybe that is one of the reasons why you haven't been here. Let me check something. Este PowerPoint veo que no tiene el sello. A ver. Vamos a mirar si el de acá sí. Este no. Es que me lo mandaron reciente y me dijeron que ese tenía el sello aquí. Pero no veo el sello. No se ve el sello. ¿Algún problema con eso?
Voy a consultarlo, profe.
Sí, por acá, espérese, acá creo que es que a mí me lo mandaron por WhatsApp, pero yo no lo podía abrir por WhatsApp. Acá, este sí lo tiene. Sí, vamos a usar este.
Ok, profe.
Sí. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the present, past, and future perfect, and also we're going to talk about prepositions. Do the best you can until you... Oh my goodness. Algo sucedió con mi PowerPoint que está todo distorsionado. Si ves, mira, dice TJ, Mixeli, Peralta y acá estoy viendo que también está distorsionado. Todo está distorsionado.
Profe, si déjame un segundito y ¿lo puedo presentar?
Sí, claro que sí.
Ok, profe.
Deme... Y me mandaron como aprobado es el que está distorsionado.
Ajá, profe. Deme un segundito para entonces compartir pantalla, profe.
Vale, gracias.
Listo, profe, ya lo voy a presentar. Lo estaba descargando, disculpe la espera.
No, tranquila. Muchas gracias. Es que el que me mandaron por WhatsApp y el correo, ambos están malos, no sé. Está mal el PowerPoint.
Sí, profe, sale lo mismo, eso era lo que estaba viendo.
Sí. No, yo tengo el mío que no tiene el sello, que es el que yo subí a la plataforma, que ese sí está correcto, no sé si
Dele, profe, preséntelo y entonces cuando voy a dar los detalles, entonces doy que el PowerPoint estaba dando problemas y por eso presentó el que no tenía el sello. No se
Vale.
preocupe, profesora.
Muchas gracias, sí, porque así no puedo.
Dele, profe, dele, no se preocupe, estamos aquí para ayudarle.
Muchas gracias. Okay, so do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. This is a really interesting quote that was said by Maya Angelou. because it's really interesting and it's important to do the best in everything that we do. In everything we do, we should do the best, okay? And when you do it and you know that you are doing better, you have to continue doing it better, okay? We have to never stop. We have to try to never stop doing better. And I always tell people that it's not about competing with other people. It's about doing the best for you. You need to try to do the best in everything you do, and try to do better every single day for you. It's not for nobody else. It's only for you, okay? Instructions, as in every class. Dear students, it is important to follow instructions. This simple step will help you achieve success in your learning. The first thing you should do is locate yourself in a comfortable place with enough light and without distractions. So please turn off the TV and cell phone if necessary. Read the objective carefully. They will help you understand what you want to learn. To make it easier for you to learn the subject, the document is divided into 5 parts called modules. Do not skip tasks and complete each one of them in the given order. Completing the task in the given order is really important for all of you guys, because sometimes you try to do things ahead and you tend to make mistakes, and then you sometimes upload documents or the wrong assignment. So I always suggest, even though that you are not here, watch the recorded session and then upload the assignment after I explain what you have to do. Introduction. The English language allows us to make 3 statements about accomplished facts. We use one of the 3 perfect tenses to show an action that has taken place as the present time or is continuing in the present time, that had taken place as of a past time, or that will have taken place as of a future time, okay? So the learning objective for this tense that we are going to be discussing today are: identify and use the perfect tenses in written and spoken English correctly, and recognize and use prepositions and prepositional phrases appropriately. So the first part that will be discussed today, it's about present perfect and past perfect. In our next session, that will be tomorrow, by the way, mañana tenemos la clase de reposición del 2 de noviembre de 5:30 a 7:30. So tomorrow we will discuss the future perfect tense, and we will discuss prepositions, okay? The use of preposition is really interesting, and I hope that you like it, and I hope that you can learn many things about this. So this is our table of content: present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, and prepositions. Present perfect tense. Quality is not an act, it is a habit, okay? Aristotle. Definition and explanation about this tense. The present perfect tense is formed by using the present tense of the auxiliary verb have along with the past participle of the main verb. Now, if you remember, in the English language, we have 3 columns when we talk about verbs. Usually you will see that there is like a table. You will find like a chart. And this chart has like 3 columns. The first column is for the present tense. The second column is for the past tense of the verbs. And the third column is the past participle, okay? Most people, they don't memorize and they don't learn the past participle of the verbs, but it's really important to do it, because now in this tense, we are going to use the past participle, okay? So for this tense, it's super important that you master the past participle of the verbs. Of course, the list of verbs is really long. So probably you won't be able to learn all of them. What I suggest, first of all, focus on the regular verbs. For regular verbs, the past participle is the same than the past simple tense, okay? What it means? It means that if we have a regular verb, for example, the verb work, okay, the verb work is a regular verb, okay, ¿verdad? El verbo work es un verbo regular. En pasado, yo pongo una ed y es worked, ¿ok? Ahora, ¿cómo es la forma del past participle? Los verbos regulares tienen la peculiaridad que su forma de pasado participio es la misma que el pasado. O sea que yo tengo work y tengo worked y worked, ¿ok? ¿Sí? Entonces mi pasado work con ed va a ser lo mismo para mi past participle con ed, igualito, se repite. Now, what happened with the irregular verbs? ¿Qué sucede con los irregular verbs? Well, as we know, they change their form from the present to the past. Cambian su forma de presente a pasado. For example, we have the verb write, escribir. En pasado es wrote y el past participle es written, okay? So the irregular verbs, they have 3 different forms for each tense, okay, in each column. Now, they are irregular because of that, because they change. Hay algunos verbos que sí mantienen su misma forma, ¿sí? And there are some verbs that they keep the same form for the past and for the past participle, ¿ok? Hay algunos que sí, por lo menos el verbo bring, su pasado es brought y su past participle es brought, ¿ok? Algunos mantienen, los irregulares mantienen la misma forma del pasado y el past participle. No son demasiados, pero algunos. Otra cosa es que los verbos irregulares, hay algunos que se ponen de la misma forma, tanto en presente, pasado y pasado participle, como es el caso del verbo cut. Cut es cut en presente, cut en pasado y cut en past participle. Por eso ellos son irregulares porque no siguen la regla común de los demás, ¿ok? Para que lo tengan presente. Now, in this tense, it's really important that you master the past participle. Es bien importante que ustedes se sepan el past participle de los verbos. Ahora, como les decía, con los verbos regulares no hay mucho problema porque como él es en pasado, así mismo va a ser su past participle. The thing is when we use irregular verbs. So my suggestion for you, try to create a list. Traten de crear una lista con los verbos irregulares más utilizados, ¿ok? The irregular verbs that are most used. ¿Como cuáles? Como comer, leer, manejar. Comiencen a hacer una lista de todos los que son verbos irregulares y que son más usados. Nadar, correr, ¿sí? Entonces, eso los va a ayudar. Apréndanse los más utilizados. Si les digo que se pongan a aprenderlos todos, son demasiados y no lo van a lograr. Entonces, por lo menos empiecen de a poco con los que más se usan, ¿sí? Ok. Despite its name, the present perfect is used to give general information about something that happened in the past, anytime before now, but which did not occur at a definite point in time, okay? So, dice que a pesar de su nombre, el tiempo presente perfecto se usa para dar información general sobre algo que ha pasado en el pasado. ¿Qué es el pasado? Dice cualquier momento antes del ahora. O sea que el pasado fue hace un minuto atrás, ¿sí? Entonces, el presente perfecto se usa para eso, para dar información sobre algo que ha pasado en el pasado. Cualquier momento antes de la hora, pero que no ocurrió a un momento o punto definido en el tiempo, ¿ok? No es un momento específico. I have seen that movie already. Recuerden que el perfect tense, en el caso del present perfect tense, lo vamos a utilizar con el verbo have. Aquí es clave que siempre utilicemos el verbo have. Have cuando vamos a hablar de I, you, we, and they, and we're going to use has when we talk about she, he, or it, the third person singular, okay? I have seen that movie already. So, usamos, dice que el sujeto, luego el verbo have or has, and then the past participle of the main verb. aquí el pasado participio es seen. Ese seen viene siendo la forma o la variante de see, de mirar. See en presente, saw en pasado y seen en past participle. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Ya yo vi esa película. ¿Cuándo la vi? Pues obviamente no ahorita. Puede ser ayer, puede ser en la mañana, puede ser hace una semana, pero indica que ya la vi, solo que no dice cuándo. Como les decíamos, este tiempo no indica exactamente cuándo, pero sabemos que la acción fue hecha en el pasado, ¿sí? Ya yo vi esta película. She has been to Prague, ¿ok? Ella ha estado en Praga. ¿Cuándo? Antes del hoy, antes de la hora, pero no sabemos específicamente cuándo. John has lied to us too many times. John nos ha mentido a nosotros muchas veces. ¿Cuándo nos ha mentido? En el pasado, en algún momento, ¿sí? Entonces miren que con John y con she usé has y con I usé have, porque era lo que les decía. Third person singular, vamos a utilizar has, ¿ok? Vamos a mirar este video.
¿Qué te hace sudar? Solo Rexona Clinical te ofrece 3 veces más protección en cualquier situación. Como el sudor por llegar muy tarde. No importa qué te haga sudar. Rexona Clinical, 3 veces más protección.
Hello and welcome to today's English lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're looking at how we use perfect tenses in English. Let's go to the intro. Now, as I said, today's lesson is looking at perfect tenses, and we're going to look at 1, 2, 3, 4 different perfect tenses. We'll look at the present perfect, the past perfect, the future perfect, and the conditional perfect sentence. Now, what are perfect tenses? Well, perfect tenses show us a completed action, okay? And they are formed with the verb have plus the past participle of the second verb. And these are known as compound verbs, okay? Now, the first one we're going to look at is the present perfect, and we form this with have, okay? Have or has, according to the subject. And we'll look at the example. I have been to Paris on 2 occasions, okay? I've been to Paris twice in the past. I'm not saying when I was in Paris or when I went to Paris. I'm just saying that I have been to Paris on 2 occasions, all right, completed actions. And Sylvia has broken her arm and can't play in the match. Again, the completed action. Her arm is broken. She has broken her arm. Now, if we put a time reference in there, we would use the past simple. So Sylvia broke her arm yesterday, or I went to Paris last week, okay? But we don't, so we have the present perfect tense here. Now, the second example is the past perfect, and the past perfect is formed with had plus the past participle. The examples, let's have a look. When I got to the concert, the band had already started, all right? So I'm saying that something was completed at a certain point in time there. So when I got to the concert, when I arrived at the concert, the music had already started, or the band had already started playing, we could say, all right? So that's how we use the past perfect. I thought I had posted the letter, but I was wrong. I thought I had done it. I thought I had done it. I thought I had posted the letter, but I hadn't posted it. I was wrong. I made a mistake. So I'll have to go back in the future and post the letter. The next example is the future perfect, and the future perfect is formed with will and have plus the past participle. Examples: by the time you arrive, I will have finished my exams in the future. Completed action in the future. By the time you arrive, I will have finished my exams. So here we can see the future perfect, will have finished. I will have finished my exams by the time you arrive, okay? And when you take your holidays, I will have already returned, okay? In the future, I will have already returned from my holidays by the time you take yours or when you take yours, okay? So the completed actions in the future. Now, the last example is the conditional perfect, and we use this in the third conditional sentence. You probably have studied that already, and we form it with would and with have. Would and have. Always in that conditional sentence with if. If we hadn't missed the bus, we would have arrived on time, okay? If we hadn't missed the bus, we would have arrived on time. And I would have shown you around if I had been in town. So I would have shown you around. I would have shown you the parts of my city that I think you would find interesting, okay? That's what I would have done if I had been in town. But I wasn't in town, so I couldn't show you around, okay? It's hypothetical. If we hadn't missed the bus, we would have arrived on time. Again, something that can't take place because it's hypothetical, because we did miss the bus, so we didn't arrive on time. And again, I wasn't in town, so I wasn't able to show you around, okay? So that's how we use the present perfect, the past perfect, the future perfect, and the conditional perfect tense in English. I'll leave links down below to other videos I have done on all of these tenses, so you can have a look at those. Now, thanks for watching the lesson. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Remember to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends, please, on social media. I'll see you in the next English lesson. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay, so this video was an explanation, okay, was an explanation of the perfect tenses, not only the present perfect tense, but also the past perfect and the future perfect, okay? And they mentioned something that we really need to keep in our mind, that is that when we talk about the perfect tenses, we don't know exactly when the action occurs, okay? We know that it already happened in the past, but we don't know when, okay? So here we have the formula. How can we write affirmative, negative, and questions using this tense? Okay, so first of all, we are going to write the subject. Remember that the subject could be a pronoun, but also could be a noun, okay? After that, we are going to use, for the present perfect, we are going to use have or has. And as I told you before, you need to remember that have is the base form, okay? Es el verbo tener en su forma base, have. But it changed. Él cambia un poco. ¿Cuándo? Cuando hablamos de la tercera persona singular. When we talk about she, he, or it, this verb change, okay? ¿Cómo cambia? Well, it is has. It will be has, okay? So we use has for the third person singular, for she, he, and it. She has studied. He has studied. It has studied. I can say, I have studied, you have studied, we have studied, and they have studied, okay? Also, we have here another example. I have done it, okay? I have done it. He has done it, okay? Done es el past participle del verbo do, hacer. Negative. For negative, we are going to have the subject plus the have or has plus the not, and then the verb in the third person singular. She has not studied. He has not studied. No es she has studied. No, no. She has not studied, okay? You have not started. We have not started, okay? And also we can say haven't or hasn't, okay? They have a contraction. Ellos tienen una forma contracted, una forma corta que la podemos utilizar y sería hasn't para cuando hablamos de la tercera persona y sería haven't para cuando hablamos de I, you, we, or they, okay? It's totally up to you. You can say have not or you can say haven't, okay? Then for questions, okay, for questions, we are going to start the question using have or has. Remember that the have or has, in this case, they are working as the auxiliary, okay? Ellos están funcionando como el auxiliar de este tiempo. They work as the auxiliary for this tense. So we have has, have or has, and then the subject, and then the verb in the past participle form. Has she started? Have you started? Okay. Now, using another verb, it will be like, have you done it? Ya tú lo hiciste. Has she done it? Okay. We change the order. We will place at the beginning of the sentence our auxiliary and then the subject. Do you have any questions, doubts up to this moment? If you have questions after watching the video, the recorded session, you can text me or you can send, open a consulting forum. You can write in the consulting forum and ask about any question or doubts that you may have, okay, regarding to this. Okay, the first question says, what is the use of this tense, okay? And here we have the answer. The present perfect is used to give general information about something that happened in the past, but which did not occur at a definite point in time, okay? So this is really important for us. And examples, well, you can mention any example. After we finish, we are going to solve a practice using the perfect, the present perfect, and also the past perfect. Let's talk about our second topic for this evening, that is the past perfect tense, okay? Try not to become a man of success, rather become a man of value. Albert Einstein. Definition and structure. The past perfect tense expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. To form the past perfect tense, we use subject, then we use had, then we use the past participle of the main verb. Now, in this tense, in the past, we are going to use had instead of have or has, okay? And this had will work for all the person in the pronouns chart, okay? So we are going to use had for the third person singular, para la tercera persona singular, and I'm going to use had for the rest of the people in the pronouns chart, okay? No importa si hablo de ella, de él o de eso. Voy a usar had para todos. Por eso este tiempo en cierto sentido es más fácil que el present perfect. Porque en el present perfect no podemos olvidar el uso del have or has, depending on la persona que estamos hablando. Dependiendo de quién estamos hablando, entonces yo decido si uso have or has. Pero en este caso, yo voy a utilizar had, ¿ok? Had para todo, porque el had es el pasado de have, ¿ok? Y no podemos olvidar de que aquí vamos a seguir utilizando lo que es de past participle. El uso del past participle se mantiene. No lo vamos a dejar de utilizar, ¿ok? So, this is the formula, the subject plus had plus the past participle of the main verb. Note, we often use the conjunctions before, when, because, until, or by the time to specify the order in which they occur in time, okay? We can use these conjunctions in this tense particularly, okay? Now let's read about the uses of the past perfect tense. When do we use it, okay? We are going to use this for an action before another action. Para una acción que ocurre antes de otra acción, okay? When an event in the past perfect tense came before another one, the main verb will often be in the simple past, okay? Dice que cuando un evento en el pasado perfecto viene antes de otro, el verbo principal se va a mantener frecuentemente en su forma pasada simple. Ejemplo. When I turned on the TV, the film had ended. ¿Ok? Aquí está el verbo en su forma pasada simple, turn. When I turned on the TV, cuando yo encendí la televisión, the film had ended. La película ya había terminado. ¿Ok? Also for an action or event before a specific point in time. When talking about a past perfect action that came before a certain point in time, we use an adverbial prepositional phrase. For example, we can say, I had expected to be married by this morning. I had expected. Look, that expected is a regular verb, por eso tiene una ed al final, y este no es su forma pasada simple, sino que es su past participle. I had expected to be married by this morning. Another use, omitting the past perfect. The past perfect is not always necessary. However, when we use the conjunctions before or after to link two clauses of past events, okay? So the past perfect is not always necessary. Los tiempos perfectos en inglés se consideran tiempos de gramática avanzada porque son más complicados que los demás tiempos, como el tiempo continuo o los tiempos simples, ¿ok? Sin embargo, dice que este tiempo en particular, el past perfect, no siempre es necesario. However, when we use the conjunctions before or after to link two clauses of past events, okay? For example, I packed a bag of snack before I left for the airport, okay? I packed a bag of snack before I left for the airport. What is not correct is that you said, I had packed a bag of the snack before I left for the airport. Aquí miren que no es necesario utilizar el tiempo perfecto, pasado perfecto. Simplemente uso como si fuera un pasado simple. I had, sin el I had packed, okay? Now let's see the formula for this tense. We have subject, then the had, and then the past participle of the main verb. So in this case, we can say, I had completed, you had completed it, and we had completed it, okay? For negative, we are going to place the not after the had because the had is our auxiliary. So we can say, I had not started, it had not started, or we can say, I have not completed it. For questions, we are going to start the questions or begin the questions using the auxiliary had. After this auxiliary, we're going to use the subject and then the verb in the past participle form. Had you completed the homework? Okay. Had you completed the homework instead of saying you had completed the homework, okay? I will change the order. Now, it's important to know this. Negative interrogative sentences. We can have this. Negative interrogative sentences. Negative interrogative sentences also ask a question, but they imply that the speaker expects the answer to be yes, okay? So we can have a negative interrogative sentence. Podemos tener una pregunta negativa, ¿sí? ¿Cuándo? Cuando nosotros esperamos que la persona que va a responder diga sí a lo que yo estoy preguntando, ¿ok? We form this by adding the word not or never after the subject, ¿ok? How can we form this? adding the word not or never after the subject. Had, for example, had she, ¿cómo sería? Not never done it, okay? Had and not are very often contracted, in which case hadn't comes before the subject. Ahora, si lo vamos a hacer en forma contracted, yo voy a decir hadn't she done it, ¿ok? ¿Por qué? Porque cuando voy a usar la forma contracted, voy a utilizar mi main verb seguido del not, como aparece aquí, hadn't. Si no lo voy a usar en forma contracted, entonces tengo que utilizar esta fórmula de arriba. Questions, okay? Let's see. What is the use of these tense? An action before another action, okay? And an action or event before a specific point in time. And the formula for this tense is the subject, then the verb had, and then the past participle of the main verb, okay? That is the formula. Okay, so we are supposed, in my planning, we are supposed to have a practice, okay? Se supone que en estos momentos íbamos a hacer una práctica utilizando el breakup rooms, y vamos a dividir el salón para poder hacer esta práctica. Dado que no hay estudiantes, voy a compartir una practiquita, voy a tratar de desarrollarla en la medida que estoy compartiendo para que tengan una mejor idea de este tiempo. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to write on the screen. Okay, so for positive sentences, we need to remember that this is the present perfect, okay? So we are going to use have or has, okay? Importante saber que aquí entonces mi auxiliar va a ser have or has. Estoy hablando de I, así que voy a decir I have, y tengo que utilizar mi verbo en past participle. I have studied, like this, French, okay? She has, okay? Eaten, que es mi past participle. They have been to Scotland. Have porque estoy hablando de they. Y been es de past participle. We have read. He has lived here for 3 years, okay? You have known. We have been. I have, como decimos aquí, I have lost, okay? I have lost. He, ahí estamos hablando de drink, okay? So, the past participle for drink is drunk, okay? He has drunk too much coffee. They have missed, okay? Este es un verbo regular. Like this. So this is how it works. Y así es como va a quedar entonces para mis oraciones afirmativas, ¿sí? Utilizando el have o el has according to the person that I'm talking about, de acuerdo a la persona de quien estoy hablando. Vamos a ver entonces la segunda parte. Aquí serían negative sentences, okay? So let's write the negative sentences here. We have not been. We have not been to Paris. She has not seen The Lord of the Rings. He has not met my mother. They have not visited. They have not visited St. Paul's. I have not talked. You have not studied. They have not been in London for 6 months. He has not heard. She has not left. Okay. And the last one is lose again. We have not lost. Okay, like this. This is how we can form the negative in the present perfect tense, okay? Vamos a usar have or has seguido del not, okay? Vamos entonces a ver cómo usamos en pasado. Okay, so for the past perfect, we are going to use here. Let me show them, sorry. Okay, so here we have, this is for the past perfect, okay? Mrs. Smith had left, okay? Before you phone. They had changed. The thief had broken. By yesterday, the boss had read. The plane had taken off. She had drunk and had cleaned. David had washed. The boys had written. Tom had done. Jack and Jill had told. Julia had opened. They had eaten. Peter had gone. Had ran. After I had brushed, Paul had spoken. Jack and James had fed the cat. He had played and Mary had been. Este tiempo es exactamente el mismo que nosotros utilizamos anteriormente con el present. ¿Cuál es la diferencia? Que acá en vez de usar have or has, voy a usar had. Todo lo demás es igual, voy a seguir utilizando mi past participle, ¿sí? Vamos a ver qué corresponde de tarea para este módulo, ¿ok? Para este módulo que sería nuestro módulo 3, vamos a ver cuál es el trabajo que ustedes tienen. Ok, aquí tenemos entonces que vamos a hacer un summary. ¿Qué es un summary? Un summary es un resumen, ¿ok? Un summary ustedes van a hacer. Summary, and it says write a 2-page summary, ¿ok? Van a hacer 2 páginas de resumen. ¿Ok? 2-page summary about the perfect tenses previously studied. Ustedes van a hacer un resumen de los tiempos perfectos previamente estudiados. Ahorita no van a poder hacerlo, no van a poder empezar a hacer esto porque aún nos falta el tiempo futuro perfecto. Hoy solamente hemos visto el presente perfecto y el pasado perfecto. Nos hace falta ver mañana el futuro perfecto. Una vez completemos con el futuro perfecto, entonces ustedes pueden trabajar este summary, ¿ok? Este trabajo debe llevar cover page, que es página de presentación. Debes utilizar la letra Times New Roman o Arial. El espacio entre líneas debe ser de 1.5 y los márgenes de la página deben ser de 2.54 centímetros, ¿ok? Esto no lleva introducción, no lleva conclusión, solo un cover page y 2 páginas de resumen, 2 hojas de resumen. Usted puede parafrasear, para hacer resumen se puede hacer un paraphrasing, puede utilizar la información que aparece en la plataforma, los PDF sobre este tema, o pueden utilizar también información extra que pueden googlear o referirse a la biblioteca virtual de la universidad para buscar más información en caso de ser necesario, ¿ok? Aparte de esta actividad, ustedes van a tener un test también, un ejercicio sobre este tiempo, ¿ok? Este tiempo y lo que es el tema de las preposiciones, ¿ok? La gramática es una materia muy bonita. No a muchas personas les gusta la gramática, ni se sienten del todo cómodos con ella, pero si ustedes le dan un chance, se van a dar cuenta que es una materia interesante, es una materia que, al igual que las matemáticas, requiere práctica. Una vez ustedes practican, ustedes van a ir dominando muchos de los temas que les van a servir a futuro. En la medida que ustedes dominen los temas, los tiempos gramaticales, lastimosamente con ustedes no he podido tener la interacción que yo quisiera. Sin embargo, por lo menos con los otros grupos, cuando hemos dictado este curso de grammar, han armado unos flashcards con las fórmulas para cada tiempo. Para el present simple, para el present continuous, ahora para el present perfect, asimismo past simple, past continuous, y arman sus fórmulas con ejemplos que le dan ejemplos claves. Y pues los chicos me han contado que les ha sido muy funcional y un éxito total, como quien dice, el tener acceso a estas flashcards que los ayuda a recordar cómo son los tiempos. A veces me cuentan que leen en internet algo y fácilmente pueden identificar, esta oración o este texto está escrito en presente perfecto, está escrito en pasado simple, gracias a las fórmulas. Entonces, la ventaja es que en todas las clases ustedes van a ver que nosotros desarrollamos este tiempo, los tiempos, perdón, los desarrollamos, todos los tiempos en general, a base de fórmulas, para que se le haga más fácil a ustedes aprender dichos tiempos gramaticales, ¿ok? Con que ustedes sepan las fórmulas de la manera más simple, ya eso es ganancia. Posteriormente ustedes pueden agregarle un poco más a sus oraciones para que se vean más grandes o más completas y demás, pero con que usted siga la estructura de la fórmula que se le ha brindado, ya eso es el tiempo gramatical que estamos viendo, ¿sí? En el tiempo presente simple o pasado, o en este caso que estamos viendo lo que son los tiempos perfectos. Con que usted haga el uso del subject, luego el have or has o el had, que luego de eso usted incluya el past participle del main verb y ponga un complement, ya That's enough, ¿ok? Eso sería suficiente. Y ya usted estaría utilizando lo que es el tiempo perfecto. Bueno, básicamente la explicación de lo que nos correspondía para el día de hoy, pues era esto. La idea también era, como mencioné anteriormente, con cada uno de los tiempos poder hacer un breakup room donde pudiéramos dividirlos a ustedes y darles 20 minutos de tiempo para que pudieran trabajar desarrollando las prácticas. Así que bueno, no me queda más que, si tienen alguna duda con respecto a estos dos tiempos, que por favor me escriban. Estoy a su orden para cualquier cosa pues que necesiten. Liliana, nuevamente, las mismas de todos los jueves. No sé.
Bueno, profesora, bueno, si no se ha conectado más estudiantes, ya terminó la clase. Damos finalizada, profesora, la clase de la noche de hoy. Esperando y motivando a los estudiantes que para el próximo jueves logren
Mañana tenemos
conectarse.
clase. Mañana
Sí,
es la
correcto. Exactamente. Mañana corresponde una hora de lo que fue el jueves pasado.
No, mañana es la reposición del 2 de noviembre.
Ah,
Del
ok,
jueves.
sí, profe, sí, disculpe, profesora. Sí, mañana nuevamente. Creo que estaré igual
De 5:30 a
sí,
7:30.
correcto,
Sí,
profesora.
sí, porque me dijeron que si ya habíamos terminado que lo que quedó restando del jueves, cuando me llamaron me dijeron que como ya se había dado la clase, igual no había estudiantes, que ya eso quedaba así. Así que
Correcto, profe.
mañana sería para terminar este módulo. De verdad que ojalá que los estudiantes puedan participar.
Sí, profe.
Nunca me había pasado con ningún grupo esto de no tener estudiantes.
Sí, también puede ser que la mayoría trabaja también y no pueden también. Ahorita mismo también por lo que está pasando aquí en Panamá.
Sí, exacto.
Sí, profe. Así que bueno, profesora, Dios primero, mañana nos vemos.
Qué bueno.
Gracias, profesora. Pasen buenas noches.
Gracias a usted. Buenas
Bendición,
noches.
profesora.
Que